surprised and disappointed that the Trump administration is recommending cutting billions of dollars from transportation and public transit infrastructure programs in its proposed budget for fiscal year 2018. That came from a statement released by American Public Transportation Association acting president and CEO Richard White. This proposal for massive transit cuts comes at the same time that President Trump and Congress are proposing investing $1 trillion in America's infrastructure. APTA officials note, instead of cutting public transportation, we should focus on funding it. For instance, APTA's infrastructure analysis shows a $200 billion portion of this investment in the nation's public transportation infrastructure could create millions of jobs across America.
It would produce 10 million jobs over a 10-year period, and it would certainly increase the reliability and the capacity of our transportation services. So we're in an era where we have many issues that divide us, but I think we can agree, and hopefully the President and Congress can reach agreement, that infrastructure and public transportation is one of those issues that can unite us.
The investment will have the greatest impact for small and mid-sized communities. For example, purchasing new buses and upgrading equipment and facilities for smaller systems like Altoona Metro Transit.
You've got very much an aging fleet. I always talk about the 6 buses that we have that are more than 40 years old. But even if you go up to the next level, I have another 6 that are 17 years old. So they're well past their useful life. In addition, our garage, our maintenance facility, is more than 100 years old.
Systems such as the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority are an example of what other transportation agencies might look like if they are neglected.
We've also been the prime example probably in the country of when you do not invest in infrastructure and you get to the point where basically you have to impact customer and the customer service experience just to do the basics. With additional dollars, we need the additional dollars from the federal government. We look forward to any infrastructure initiative that's underway. We need it for the basics. We need it for rail cars. We need it for buses. We need it for power. We need it for our systems, and we need it for just an aging system that's now 40 years old that has not had the attention that it needs, and we need to reinvest, or again, you see what happens if you don't.
Nearly 90% of public transit trips directly benefit the economy by getting people to work and connecting them to local businesses.
This is about jobs, the direct jobs. We're adding 200 jobs to in our own organization over the next few years. But it's also about access to jobs, access to employment training, education, healthcare, housing, and quality of life.
It basically puts us in a position to be competitive economically as a city. Transportation, the importance of transportation infrastructure and quality transportation infrastructure is really what drives a lot of decisions for companies and people. When we have the type of funding that allows us to make the investments to improve the services that we provide to our customers, then I think the community as a whole benefits both directly and indirectly from that type of an investment.
Recently, the American Society of Civil Engineers rated the nation's public transit infrastructure a D-. To access the amount of funding transit systems can receive as part of an infrastructure initiative per congressional district, go to apta.com/analysis.